which is we are going to do, and the IP address which is we have over here 192.168.10.0/24 network. And over here we have 192.168 dot let's take 30.0, okay, /24 network. And over here we have 192.168 dot that's a 20.0/24 network. Okay, that's the thing. Configuration which is we are going to do, first of all password, and in the password configuration which is we are going to do, that is enable password and secret password and line password. Okay, so these three passwords we are going to configure. Now after that we are going to configure static routing, sorry, yes, static routing. Okay, and in this basically we are also going to configure the telnet. Okay, then after that which one we have, okay, IP configuration. That's the thing. Let's do the configuration. So first of all, let me configure the IP addresses on this interface, which is we have. Okay. So first of all, let's configure that. So interface fast Ethernet 0/0 IP address is 192.168.10.1 on this interface I have to configure, and then do no shutdown. Okay. Now let's configure 10.2 on this interface. Okay. So in interface fast Ethernet 0/0, and that IP address would be 192.168.10.2, 255.255.255.0. Do no shutdown. Simple. Okay. Now let's do the configuration on this interface. So this interface is fast Ethernet 0/1. Okay. So interface fast Ethernet 0/1 IP address, that is 192.168, sorry, 192.168 dot which IP, which is we have to configure 20.1. Okay, and we have to take class C network and then do no shutdown. Okay, and on this interface let's configure 30.1. So which interface is it? Interface fast Ethernet 0/1 IP address 192.168.30.1, right? So 30.1.0 and do no shutdown. So all the configurations are done regarding the IP addresses. Only the PCs which is we have to configure. Okay, so let's configure the PC, configure the IP addresses on the PCs as well. So go on the desktop and let's configuration. So that is the 20 network, right? So 192.168.20.2. The one is already we have configured. So we are going to configure two, and the default gateway for these PCs is that IP address. Okay, so which IP address? 192.168.20.1. Okay, so that's the configuration IP on the PCs we have. Okay, go on the desktop, click it on IP, and 192.168.20.3, 192.168.20.1, 20.1. Okay, and let's do the configuration on these PCs. Go on the desktop, click on IP. IP configuration would be 192.168.30.2. Okay, because of one is already configured. So 192.168.30.1 is our default gateway for for these PCs. Okay. So let's configure the IP on the another PC. So IP is 192.168.30.3. Okay, so 192.168.30.1, we have the IP which is 30.1. Okay, so all the configuration of IP is done. If you wanted to check the communication, like do I reachable from these PCs to the your default gateway or not, so simple open the command prompt and type over here ping and then your default gateway IP address. So the default gateway IP is 20.1. So we are able to communicate, means we are reachable. That means from here to in this network, my whole network are working. Okay, means from here to here, even from here to here as well. Okay, so only the one thing which is we have to do, first of all, let's do the configuration of password. So we are going to set the three kind of password. Okay, and before doing that, let's do the configuration of the username and password. So how you can do that? Simple, you type the username ccnp and then in the same thing password. So password would be also ccnp. So in this case, whenever you are going to take the access of remotely, means if you are on this PC and if you wanted to take the access of this router, okay, so you can take that access. Okay, so while taking the access, it will ask the username and password. So that's why we are going to put the username and password over here, this command. And this username password is your first enable password. Okay, now only the one password which is we have to give two passwords, sorry, that is secret password and line password. Okay, so how we can do, type enable secret, and in the enable secret we have CCIE and type line VTY 0 to 5. Okay, and then you can set the password that is CCIE, then login local, login local, that's all. Okay, do the same thing on this router as well. Let me do one thing, let me copy all the command from this router. How we can do, type the command that is do show history. Yes.
Sir, do we need to mention the login while we are accessing the VTY as it's saved by default?
No, actually we have to mention. Means if you are not doing this command, so this will not give you the login process. Okay, this will not get you entered into the login process. So same thing we also have done on the both the routers.
And the
Okay.
same thing goes for console and auxiliary.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so all the configuration of the password has been done. So only one thing which is we have to do, that is static routing configuration. Okay, to make the communication from this network to this network. Let me show you as well. We are not able to communicate first of all, like from PC1, and I'm going to take it and I'm going to communicate from this PC1 to in this network. So I'm going to communicate PC number 2. Okay, so what is the IP? 192.168.30.2, I think so. Okay, because of it's in the 30 network. So we are now not able to reach, means destination host unreachable. So for the communication, what we are going to do, we are going to configure static routing. Okay, so how we can do, simple type IP route, and then right now I'm on this router. Okay, so which networks are directly connected to me? This interface network, means in the 20 network and the 10 network is reachable from me. Okay, only the one network which is not directly connected with me, that is 30 network. Before doing this, let me show you one thing. The routing table show IP route. So we have 10 and 20 network over here, that is 10 network and 20 network. So we have to do configuration for the 30 network. So go on the configuration mode, type IP route, and then 192.168.30.0, and then put the subnet mask, and then interface. So which interface is directly connected with me means this interface. So we have to give fast Ethernet 0/0. Okay, you can give the interface IP address. Okay, you can give the interface IP address, not this network. Okay, like somebody did this mistake, that is they have given the network, so you guys don't have to do these kind of things. Okay, so that is the thing which is we have done over here regarding the routing information. Let me show you the routing table of the router number one. So we have now static routing in the routing table. Let me do the same thing on this. Okay, also IP route 192.168 for which network? For 20 network. Which interface I'm using? I'm using this interface. So this interface is fast Ethernet 0/0. Okay, now let me show you the routing table. So this is static routing is getting it. Now let's do the communication again for the same network. Before that, the destination host was not reachable. Oh, okay. Means the destination host unreachable, you are getting that. Okay. Now you will get the reply from that. Just wait. Request timed out. Let me check the ports once again, like we haven't done any kind of mistakes or not. So all the ports are up and the configurations are all the configurations are fine. Even let me check from this PC as well. So that's 30.2, default gateway is 30.1. Everything's fine. Let me check it on this as well. So everything's fine. Let me check over here as well on the, sorry, on the desktop only. Okay, everything's is fine. Let me check it on this PC as well. That's a 20.2. Okay, everything's fine. Just only the few things which is we have to do. We have to wait. Okay, means all the configuration which is we have done. That's the configuration which is we need to done. If you check that we are able to communicate, like we are able to take the access of that PCS or not. So let me show you as well. Okay, like telnet 192.168 dot that was 20, sorry, 10.1, right? So we are, it's asking the username. So which username we have given? That's the username. Okay, and whenever you put the password, it will ask the enable password. So which enable password we have given? CCIE. And in the username and password we have given the CCNP. So we are right now, I am right now inside the PC number one, and I have taken the access of the router number zero with using the telnet. Let me show you. Okay, so we are now inside the router number zero. So that means my all the configurations are working fine. Means regarding the password and all the things. Okay, so just only the one thing is there, that is regarding the operating or the iOS, which is it's getting, we are getting this kind of error. Otherwise, all the configurations are fine.
Excuse me, sir. Sir, why
Yes.
not we change the cable, sir? Cable is also.
we can also change it. Okay, we can also change it, like we can take the any kind of serial cable. Okay, but make sure you must have basically the port on this router, means the nodes. Let me zoom in. See, basically this is your router. Okay, and you have by default these ports. Let me zoom it. What does the application name is? Magnifier, right? Okay, so if you can see over here, we have slot 1, okay, and slot 2, and in by default the all the, which is the port you are getting, fast ethernet 0/0 and 0/0 and 0/1. Okay, so you can add the ports from here, means the module. You can take the module from here and then you can add it. Okay guys, so that's the thing.